Hello guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about moral lessons that I believe people can learn from Ashes of Love. I will be talking about 5 moral lessons in this video, so if you want to stay and figure out what moral lessons you can learn from watching Ashes of Love, stay around. Okay, moral lesson number 1. Sacrifices are worth making for those that you love. So oftentimes when you're watching Zanziers, you don't really think that what you're watching is within the realm of reality. But when we're talking about love, we understand that human beings, of course, fall in love, get married, have children, such things like that. And Jinmi's ultimate sacrifice at the end of Ashes of Love, that stops the battle between Ronyu and Safang, highlights that sacrifice is absolutely worth it. And I would also add that because she comes back as a result of the Brahma ashes, it showcases that even if you wouldn't literally come back from that kind of sacrifice, you certainly would gain a positive consequence in the universe by putting something like that out. Okay, on to number 2, the second moral lesson. The second moral lesson from Ashes of Love is that sometimes villains aren't the horrible people you think they are. And I say this because Ronyu's character in particular does a lot of horrendous things, but before he does those things, we understand his story. We understand that his father never loved him, he did not know his mother until it was too late, and even by the time that he tried to build a relationship with her, the Heavenly Empress basically took his mother away from him, turning him into a villain. But it didn't stop me from kind of feeling empathetic for Ronyu, putting myself in his shoes, crying with him, and understanding why he went on that particular path. And I think Ronyu's character is a very important lesson in how empathy works for fictional characters, or just people in general. On to number 3, which is also linked back to Ronyu. You are allowed to forgive people, and people can be forgiven. So Ronyu, after everything that he's done, basically tries to give the throne back to Saofang. But Saofang is like, you need to actually pay for your mistakes and stay being emperor and understand what it's like to actually take responsibility for your actions. And in taking responsibility for his actions, after many, many years, and Jimmy and Saofang have already had a child and are living in the mortal realm, Ronyu comes down and he talks with Jimmy, and you can see that all has kind of been forgiven, that they've moved on. Of course, moving on also meant that Saofang and Jimmy could be together and everything, and had they still been separated, I'm sure they probably would not have forgiven Ronyu. But the way they set up the ending of the show, it left room for Ronyu to be forgiven. He was in heaven, they were on earth, and he had to deal with what he did. Being emperor, being responsible for people, not using a woman, Jimmy, to cause a massive war. Number 4. This is linked to the Heavenly Empress as well, and it is also linked to the Heavenly Emperor. So when it comes to toxic relationships, sometimes people stay in them because they're immensely in love with those people, and we also need to leave room for empathy for them. Now, I say the Heavenly Empress is in a toxic relationship with the Emperor because he cheated on her multiple times in the marriage and disrespected her, and she could have been with somebody else. There was literally an alternative option, but she didn't go with him because she needed the power of the Heavenly Emperor, and I also believe she was truly in love with the Heavenly Emperor. Unfortunately, he treated her really badly, but she still loved him. She had Safang, like, she truly did care for the Emperor, but I think as well with toxic relationships, people also need to learn how to leave them. Unfortunately, the Heavenly Empress had to leave toxic relationship through death, because she did a lot of horrendous things as a result of her kind of like hatred towards the Emperor because of everything that he did to her. But I also have empathy for her. It's just that I think what you have to learn from that is, if you're in a toxic relationship, like, leave before it's too late. Because if the Heavenly Empress hadn't made all those terrible decisions and then gone back to the bird realm and maybe gone, hey, the Emperor isn't a good dude, things could have been dramatically changed. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And the 5th and last moral lesson that you can take from Ashes of Love is that sometimes the past, or maybe all the time, the past will affect the future, and karma is real. There are consequences for every single action. Ashes of Love is a story based on the fact that the previous generation of these characters experienced so many things that happened, that their children were inevitably going to reap what they sowed, basically, and it was inevitable. Jimmy's mother being in love with a mortal, the Heavenly Emperor, like, assaulting, raping the floral mortal, and how it affected Jimmy's life and the love pill that Jimmy got, and Safong having to be in the middle of that and realizing that his parents were the reason why his lover's mother died. Like, how awkward is that? And then Ron Yu not being able to marry his lover because his lover is in love with his half brother as a result of something that his father had planned ages ago. There were so many things that went back to generations, but it also made the show make a lot of sense. Everything was linked back to generational trauma, generational cycles. But the good thing about the show is those cycles were broken ultimately. Let me know what moral lessons you want to add for Ashes of Love in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.